Greetings, friends, and welcome back to the Burgers and Fries podcast, your Bob's Burgers companion podcast. With you, as always, is Brian and Ryan. We're back. It's 2 weeks in a row. I made it.
You did. You didn't.
No one got sick.
You didn't die in between recording this.
I didn't.
Which would have been very sad because it
would have been very sad. It was like 5 minutes, yeah. But we are back, sounding better already.
Yeah, we're back for the Season 4 recap.
Season
special.
4 recap. Did you ever think that we would make it this far?
I mean, I had hopes that we did. It doesn't mean that that
we could go 74 episodes in.
Yeah, it's great that we did. It's awesome that we've been able to do this and that we have people who are still listening after 74 episodes.
I think that's more the amazing thing, because we could do podcasts, standing on our heads. It's just the fact that we actually have listeners that interact with us, listeners that tell us that they like us, listeners that tell us that they don't like us. What we can work on, and what we can do better. Criticism is always welcome.
It is.
As long as it's constructive.
Yeah.
If you can say I don't like it, tell me why.
Yeah.
You don't like the sound of my voice? You don't like how we recap the episodes? You don't like our ratings?
No, well, we can make changes.
Yeah.
We're fluid people.
Yeah, but just don't say that it wasn't funny and it wasn't very good.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't help us out. We can't work. We can't be better with that kind of criticism. Anyway.
So we love to ramble, and so what we've done...
Why do we ramble?
So what I know in previous ones of these we've tried is the key word, to keep them short and simple. We don't want this to be a super long episode. It's just something to help bridge the gap between the end of Season 4, the beginning of Season 5 in this case. We've done 3 of these already, so we're no stranger to doing it, but we're going to try and keep it short and sweet for you.
That's right.
There's nothing really...
And so much, and we'll talk about this later, but there's so much good in Season 5. There's so much to look forward to in Season 5, but we'll get there.
But like the Season 3 recap, I think, took us like an hour.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't want to do an hour. We don't need to spend an hour.
That's a long time talking about shows that you've already watched and podcasts that you've already listened to. So we want to make it, short and sweet and just reminisce about the wonderfulness that was Season 4.
Yeah.
So
hold on. Yeah. Hold on to whatever.
Without further ado.
Without anything, hold on to something.
Hold on to your butts.
Hold on to your butts, because it's time to go back to the past and talk about Season 4.
Okay.
I guess.
What
we're gonna. It's already happened, so we're gonna go back to the past.
Okay, that was a big lead up.
It was to nothing.
And there was to nothing. Really, that was good. That was a good job.
Going to the past.
Whoa! Why aren't you guys in costume? No one's gonna give you candy without a costume.
Oh, is that how trick-or-treating works, Daryl?
Yes.
How do we get the candy?
You put on a costume and you go door to door.
Oh, no! We put on a costume! Relax! We've got the costume of costumes.
No need for the attitude, Louise. I just don't want you to not have candy.
I know, Daryl.
Concern's coming from a good place.
We're going as a Chinese dragon. There'll be 5 of us inside, but we'll say there's 10 of us. It's a trick to get more treats.
We'll be swimming in nougat.
I remember when I thought group costumes were a good idea. Too much work! And not enough friends.
I'll admit it's ambitious, but we have our best people on it.
So, Brian.
Yeah, Ryan.
I got favorite moments listed here. I'm going to give...
Oh, do you now?
I do. And we're going to do it differently than what we've done previously. Again, to try to condense, make things easier.
We're shaking things up.
We're shaking it up a little bit, and this is a good episode to do it in. I've got 3 things down.
Okay.
I want you to elaborate on them a little bit.
Okay.
And I will do so. Because we would agree on all these things in the previous episodes.
Sure.
Both thought of this. Well, I'll talk about this, you talk about that. Let's just cut to the chase. I got 3 things here that were our favorite
Cut the
moments.
crap!
So I got 3 things here.
Okay.
So we had a plethora of new guest voices.
Yes, we did, which were so great.
Which was a very good thing in Season 4. Mm-hmm. We had plenty of songs, plenty of original songs that came through in this season. And then also we had an extensive amount of world building.
Yes, we did.
Even more so than previous seasons. And that's good. We're just continuing to grow the city. We're continuing to make it larger. We're just adding... And when we say world building, we're talking, those guest voices who have done new characters who are sticking around. We're talking about new buildings. We're talking about expanding on places. That all those things have happened. So, Brian, I want you to talk about why those are our favorite moments.
Well, the guest voices for me are very important because I've mentioned this in the past, and I'm just going to reiterate a little bit. I don't want to beat a dead horse. But the guest voices that Bob's bring on are famous people, right? Keegan-Michael Key, Jordan Peele, right? We get... Will Forte, right? And we get Bill Hader, right? We get all these great actors, you know, the Silverman sisters. They all come on and they voice such memorable characters. And the thing is, and never once do they play themselves, right? Which I love. You don't bring on Jordan Peele to play Jordan Peele, right? No. And they could have done this. They had Jordan Peele play a football player, but they could have brought in a football player to play Sandy Can Fry, or an actual football player to come in and try and be, you know, an actor for that episode. But they didn't. Yeah. Right? They brought on established actors and actresses to come in to fill these roles. Because it just sounds better.
Yeah, we've talked about this in previous episodes. I have. And I've softened on the idea because we talked about how there are certain things in this world that relate and reference real life things. And to me, initially, that was kind of jarring because it is like, why would Gene know about Melrose Place and all these other things? Because we've had a Jaws ripoff, the Deepening. You know, we had all these things. But I can't have it both ways. So I need to soften on the idea because I wouldn't want a real football player in, because then that's just going to be more jarring. And the fact that they got somebody to be the Sandy Can, there's not a football player who's known for doing the can.
Right. But they could change it up. They could have brought in Ickey Woods, right? You know, the guy from the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah.
Right? If they were really looking for somebody who was famous for dancing in the end zone, they could have done that.
Yeah, but to me, I think that means that they already had the joke in mind about the dancing, and that they wanted to do this can, because that's such an original, weird thing.
Very weird celebration dance to do.
So why not? I mean, so I think I can't have it really both ways. I mean, I can't, I probably could. That would just be me being a stickler, though. No, I like kind of the blending of using these guys' voices as people other than themselves, which is what Simpsons used to do a long time ago, and they still kind of do it now, but they were way better at it. Back in the day.
Futurama had the easy out where if they had a celebrity easy, they can just make that celebrity themselves, right, as putting the head in the jar, right?
Yep.
But other voices, we had Dana Snyder come in from Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Ken Jeong came in for many different episodes to do Dr. Yap. Hannibal Buress, was there. So there's tons of voice actors, I should say, not voice actors, that were willing to lend their talents to Bob's Burgers for season 4.
Catherine Hahn came in.
Yep, Catherine Hahn came in.
Rachel Dratch.
Lindsay Stoddart was in.
No, just you said Bobcat Goldthwait came in.
I did. Yep, Bobcat. Yep.
But yeah, I mean, you had Rachel Dratch and Catherine Hahn in the same episode.
Yeah, just wonderful actors and actresses to come in and like I said, just volunteer or whatever, however they got them.
Sure.
We'll go. We'll do a fun episode. It's going to be great. Jordan Peele and Keegan-Michael Key were all over this season. I think Keegan-Michael Key had 2 or 3, and Jordan Peele was in 4.
No, Keegan-Michael Key had 1. He was only Todd. No. He was just Todd, I believe.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I think his only appearance this season was as Todd.
I thought he was in more. I apologize. I thought he was in 2 or 3 episodes.
I wish he was.
Yeah.
The Jordan Peele was.
Maybe I'm confusing the two.
But he was also Beaver Sutherland. You're right.
Yes.
So he was in 2. Because he was Beaver Sutherland.
Yes.
You got big balls coming to this event.
Yeah. So
and then Todd. So those were his first 2.
So the voice actors for us were a big deal because they're coming in and like I said, they're celebrities, but they're not playing themselves, right? Catherine Hahn's not coming in and playing Catherine Hahn. She's playing a character in this world that we now get to meet.
Yeah.
And add on to that world building that Ryan was mentioning before.
Yeah,
so that's why it's a big deal for us.
Those go hand in hand. The world building and the guest voices, those go hand in hand because with adding these new characters, and some of them will come back, it's really cool to have those people that you can rely on. You can say, "Oh, hey, I want to bring back Todd for another episode. Let's use him for the example because Jordan Peele. Or we can bring back Fanny. We just talked about Fanny. Maybe she makes an appearance sometime down the line.
Sure.
And it's like, oh yeah, Jordan Peele can come back and do that, but he can also do other voices.
Right.
It just takes for one of these writers to have a good idea, and for it to be within the established rules of Bob's Burgers to bring them back. Like
right.
Maybe Fanny gets out of jail. Who knows?
Yeah.
But
it could happen.
But like with students are going to be around. They're not just going to leave. So
right.
even if they are just kind of in the background and maybe they're not speaking, you can remember, oh yeah, that this is a character. His name is Todd. He was a cheerleader. And Jenny Slate, Tammy's character was in for an episode and then left for half a season and then came back again with new hair. But the whole reason was because it was established she was trying to change who she was. So people didn't remember that she was the one who farted everywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that the world building of the voices, the guest voices with that world building, plus all the new locations that we were able to travel to in this episode. Not starting with the very first episode where they went on the camping trip. Mm-hmm. They had to go. And this was an episode I did with Case K that they went to go camp out, and this was an episode with John Michael Higgins again. He comes on and does lots of voices. So we had that whole building outside of the city, and then we had the Fortnite episode, which established more of the back behind the buildings, and that becomes
that
very
back
key.
alley.
That back alley becomes key in future episodes. In Seaplane, we had more of the we developed some more islands around the area with Quippakiss-It.
Yeah, Quickie Kiss It.
Quickie Kiss It, and then all the way up into just even in the wharf episode, just expanding on what the wharf is, and now we've lost part of the wharf.
Yes, it is underwater.
But there's just so much that goes on in this episode. We see the high school because of the reunion the high school reunion. We see we see down by the lighthouse for Uncle Teddy.
We see where they do their conventions, right? And
we've seen that before too.
With the Equestronauts episode.
Yep, that's been in other episodes, but we actually went inside for more of it. Mm-hmm. We saw the racetrack.
Yep, in the psychic episode. Yep.
We also just kind of, there's a magic shop in town now that we're aware of. It just there is so much going on in this episode. It would take us forever to keep talking about this.
No, we're gonna talk about all of it. I'm just kidding.
The college with the fraternity.
Yep. Which is another big one, right? So we got a lot more world building, which to us just shows tremendous growth, right? We're not just stuck in, we're not just stuck at Bob's Burgers all day and the house and the wharf, like that's it, like in the school, right? The basic, stages of where these episodes are going to be taking place. We get to see what's going on in Ocean City. We get to see what's going on in the surrounding areas outside of just the Belchers. We find out that there's a whole world now, going into season 5 where, the sky's basically the limit, right? Like, what are they going to do next? They can really kind of fill it in as they see fit.
Like, yeah, and again,
being the writers.
Sticking to the established rules, who knows where we'll be in a couple seasons, but you won't see them getting on an airplane to go to, like, Mogadishu or something.
No, nothing like that.
They took a car ride to Florida. They didn't show the car ride to Florida, but they did.
But they did a la Indiana Jones, which is fun.
Yeah, but we don't need to see all that extra stuff. We just need to see what's going on, what's happening.
Yeah.
And lastly, we saw another. We did see kind of a car road trip in this episode, just to go get the Christmas tree and the Dutch baby. So,
which was another bizarre happenings with Bobcat Goldthwait, which is always fun.
And then lastly, we just mentioned this real quickly. Just all the original songs in this season. We
always mention the songs, but they really they stepped it up for season 4.
Yeah, I mean, with season 3 was great with the Boys for Now episode and everything, but we had the Purple Rain Union, which had a bunch of songs in there. Obviously, we had what we just talked about in the Wharf.
Yep.
They're always constantly doing new songs.
There was the one with the high school reunion. Is that the Purple Rain Union?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
And then we had the Seaplane, the Quick Kiss It.
Yeah.
So the Equestronauts theme song was fantastic.
We get Christmas in the Jingle in the Jungle.
Jingle in the Jungle.
Yeah, we get Gene's favorite song, Jingle in the Jungle.
Yep.
So a lot of fun songs, a lot of great moments, and episode 21, episode 22, right? Part 1 and part 2 of Bob, saves / destroys the town. Mm-hmm. We get an original song that a lot of harmonizing, and then we get a reprieve of that song in the second episode. So this is signs of what's to come, where I don't want to say they get.
I think they're getting more
better
comfortable
at music. I think they just grow and learn how to put it into the episode better.
Yep.
Right. So they haven't been bad at music. They've always been good at music, but now they're getting more adventurous with it. Perhaps is a good word for it. And to what you said, more comfortable. And I think that's kind of hitting the nail on the head. Where season 5, 6, 7, 8 on now we're really there's just constant music and it's wonderful.
Yeah. We'll spoiler alert. We'll start off season 5 with Live Free or Die Hard, or not Live Free or Die Hard. Work Hard or Die
Trying Girl. Which I was going to mention that at the end of the episode, but since you did, that's one of the things I'm looking forward to the most is the first episode of season 5.
And that has a plethora of good music in it.
Absolutely tons. And I love Die Hard. Mm-hmm. And Die Hard could never be a musical, but they make it a musical.
Gene figures out a way.
Gene figures out a way, and it's funny. It's fantastic. I can't wait to review that one again because I've seen it so many times.
What a day. Whew. After all that fun, it would be great just to sit down and chat about, like, what rare collectibles we've gotten recently, right? You go first.
Well, I'd love to, but I gotta go primp for the party. You going to the party?
The party? Yeah, sure.
You primp? You groom?
Yeah, I primp and groom.
Good. So we'll all go primp and groom and meet back up at the party.
So we'll talk at the party?
Yeah. Gotta go. Gotta primp.
See you there, Bob Cephala.
Tina, clear some space on your bookshelf. Chariot is coming home.
I don't keep Chariot on my bookshelf.
It's a saying, Tina.
I could clear some space on my dresser.
Forget it.
Okay, bookshelf.
So those are our 3 things.
Yeah.
Right. What's next on the docket?
So in previous seasons, we've done improvements for future seasons. We're not going to do that anymore. The reason that we did that originally was because we wanted to kind of say, hey, this is what we're looking forward to. Just for example, in season 1, we talked about how the animation could get better, the jokes and the plots were going to get better. Sure. Those happened. And we talked about in season 2, we talked about having more music. That happened in season 3. In the season 3 recap, we talked about how we wanted tighter written scripts and to continue with the kids at school. We got all that in season 4. We're not going to do that again because we're running out of things to talk about.
Right, improving the show. What I do want to talk about before you go, I don't know what you have planned next, but what I do want to say is things to keep in mind for future seasons.
Let's do that then.
Right? It's not improvements, but it's things to keep in mind, like continuity.
Yep.
Right? Gene, is he or is he not allergic to shellfish? Right? Yeah. We talked about that last week.
Who knows if we'll get an answer to that.
Right. And who knows, right? And if Bob did try cocaine, why wasn't Linda upset about it then? Right?
She was kind of upset.
Right.
Well, right. It up here.
Right. Because she wanted to do it together.
Now.
Right. So those things are important, but things to keep in mind is to keep the jokes simple. I think to look for that real big ha-ha moment, I don't think that's Bob's Burgers. I just turned it at Teddy for a second.
His name's Max Fletcher, your name's Bob
I don't
Burgers.
think that's Bob, where you're just looking for that, oh my god, that memorable episode where you just laugh so hard you can't remember what's happening in the rest of the episode. They're so quick, they're so dry, right? And that's what I love about Bob's Burgers. Right, is you just keep watching it, and you hear these jokes, and you're like, "Wait, what? Did they just say that?"
Yeah.
Right. So sometimes you have to rewind, or sometimes you go back, and you're like, "Wait, really? Is that a joke that they tried to do?" And they nail it. Right. So it's a lot of fun. And I would say keep the music coming. Knowing what's happening, I think music is definitely their strong suit, and so anytime there's a room for a little jingle or a show stopping number, I'm all for it. But things to remember. What are your kind of things moving forward, right?
Just be on the lookout for new characters, because we are getting into season 5 and we will still have new characters that are going to come in.
Season 5 new characters. There's tons of new characters in season 5.
Well,
not tons. No. There's a few that I'm remembering. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, so look out for that. You mentioned music. I'm going to mention a couple new characters. Look out for some more continuity, which you had said. I also want people to be aware, and we're going to get to this. We might start to see some Flanderization of characters. Season 5 is about the time where you get too comfortable with writing these characters.
Right.
We haven't hit that yet, where these characters are still evolving, they're still growing. I feel like season 5, and we'll get to this episode when we get to it, you're going to start seeing some of this happen.
So you're saying keep the characters developing. Don't just leave them where they're at.
Don't mold them into a
nice little package.
Into a one trick character.
Sure. Like Tina just likes boys and butts.
Yeah.
And just leave it at that.
Yeah, and she can like those things. That is fine, but don't let it get to the point where that is the only thing you can define about that character.
Right.
You don't want to be, in describe to me who Tina is, and you don't want to be, she's the girl that likes butts.
Right.
You don't want that. You want her to be you want to be able to describe her as, the compassionate one, the one who doesn't always take a stand on something, but can still be forceful, still be a leader.
Standoffish and quiet, but she has her moments of bravery and adventure.
She's hormonal. She's a teenager. Yes, she's going to like butts and boys. That's fine. but you don't want it to be her only defining feature. You don't want Louise's only defining feature to be she's the one that gets into trouble.
Right.
You don't want
she's
Jean,
the crazy one. She's the one with the ears.
You don't want Jeans to be the one that's you don't want to say that he's not
the music guy.
He's the music guy, but he's also the guy who's not exactly the smartest, but he's funny and he kind of makes up for his lack of street smarts by having that humor, by having this. And we'll get to that. We might see that in this season, so just be aware.
We're hoping that it doesn't happen, right? We're hoping we'll see a lot of
we will get to that episode and we'll talk about it.
Sure.
Because there is an episode about that
you're thinking of specifically.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll talk about that when we get there.
Yep. So, but otherwise, I think that's just things to be aware of.
Sure.
In the coming season.
So basically, keep on trucking is our advice for season 5.
And just
because they've improved. It's tenfold from season 1.
It's our job to be critical. It's your job to enjoy it.
Yeah, right.
Pretty much. That's how I want to say it. Is that we can be critical and still enjoy it. You can be critical if you can enjoy it. That's fine. Just don't let that hinder how good the show is.
Right.
There are plenty of people out there when they do reviews and critiques of things that you start to shift your own opinion. And you're like, yeah, they brought up a good point. Now I don't like this, or I do like this more. That's great if you can back up your own thoughts, but don't completely change your viewpoint because of what Brian and I said. That's not what we're here for.
No.
We're not, there's plenty of...
Right, we're the companion podcast,
exactly.
right? We're not a end-all, be-all. We just want to help you along with these thoughts and try and find the fun little trivia and jokes in the show.
Yeah, so. It's there's plenty of things that I watch and I'm wishy-washy about, but then if I have somebody there to help me process those thoughts, that helps me form an opinion. But we don't want to be like, this episode's a 9 and so you should give it a 9 too. That's not how it works. That's why we have open Instagram and Twitter and all those things. You can let us know what you think and we'll debate and argue.
And we'll tell you why you're wrong.
We'll debate, we'll argue, and we won't argue in the mean way. It'll be philosophical. We'll be like, you can have your opinion. That's great.
So, anyway.
All right.
I think we're good there.
Sure. Next thing on the list, then, I've got a list of 5 new characters, and we've established these as the favorite new characters.
Yes.
For this season.
Yeah. And there were a lot.
So we're going to start out with...
a lot of one-offs, but a lot of continuation from previous.
We're going to start with the most recent one that we've come across.
Okay.
That's Todd from Gina Dunn, who was voiced by...
Keegan-Michael Key.
And that was one of Brian's that I don't remember, and I'm not aware if he is in future episodes. I hope he comes back.
Yeah, always. I think he's a great
I know that Gene's
antagonist to Gene.
I know that he's not a cheerleader anymore.
Right.
Or Gene isn't.
Right.
So who knows if he will come back? But I think that was a good use of Keegan-Michael Key to be that jaded, just the antagonist to Gene's cheerleading.
Yeah, I thought it was great.
It comes back to that.
Right, he's the Yell King, right? But Gene's the Yell God, right? They have this wonderful back and forth almost right away.
Yep. Next we had, but technically, next would then be Felix. He was the second most recent introduction. We had Felix twice this season, which was at Deltanekis. We had him in the Wharf duology, and then
when they had to get the new bathroom.
Then then I get psychic out of you, and we thought we talked about it in the last episode. We don't need to expand on it anymore. Zach Alexis does a fantastic job.
Yeah.
As being Felix, and I can't wait for more of the brother duo, which I know we're getting that. So I'm really excited for that.
Bring that on. I love that. I think that's fantastic.
And then after that, we had Jonas.
Yes.
And I know he comes back too. But we had...
Jonas is voiced by...
I don't remember.
Oh, crap. I thought you had it. I just looked it up and I told you, and then I didn't write it down.
Oh, you told me? I don't remember.
I said it out loud. It's not like, hey, Ryan, don't forget that Jonas is voiced by this guy.
Oh, was it... I don't know.
No, that's not it. I'll get there.
Paul Rust, you said.
Thank you. Yes, Paul Rust.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I know he comes back. He's in a couple episodes. He's been in Paul Rust was already in an episode in season 3 because he was Milo in the Halloween episode.
Uh-huh.
So he's got a couple characters.
That's great that Paul Rust is coming back because I love Paul Rust.
And then next after that was anybody? And this is one that you forgot when you were talking about the characters.
Of course, blame it on me. No,
I'm joking. It's Kurt. Upskirt Kurt.
Upskirt Kurt. I remembered Upskirt Kurt.
You did.
Yeah.
So Will Forte coming to do a voice is always fantastic.
Yes. Anytime he comes and does anything, it's amazing.
I've been a big fan of Will Forte since Clone High, obviously. And he, Will Forte.
Wait, you like Clone High?
I do.
This is the first time we've heard about it on this podcast.
But he did Mr. Grant in season 3, so he's just back again with a new character who can, be in other episodes.
Yeah.
And then finally, this is the one you missed, and this is a huge one going forward, Millie.
Oh, yeah.
Millie in Fortnite. You didn't review the episode, though.
I didn't review the episode, so maybe that's why.
So that's tough. But Molly Shannon doing Millie
Yes.
is a huge character introduction because that introduces a second antagonist to Louise. Because first we had Logan, and now we've got somebody her own age, Millie. Because you can't just have that high school 9-year-old dynamic all the time. I mean, that's great that they can do that, and they will always go back to that as long as it's fresh and unique.
Yep.
But now you've got somebody in her own class who is playing that weird, the weird kind of hybrid of a antagonist / trying to be your best friend. And,
the weird psycho crazy person, and it's done so well by Molly Shannon. She does a great job with the laughing and the talking very fast. Yep. Right, she's very good at that. So anytime Millie comes in is great. I know we get a lot more Millie as the years go on.
We'll get some more of that antagonistic approach, and then even get into some other fun things with Millie. But yeah, those are the 5 big character introductions. 4 of which we know do have recurring roles. I'm either blanking on Todd not showing up again, or maybe he just doesn't. And I know Keegan-Michael Key does come back, but that's just kind of nice. And again, it's world building. It's refreshing to see these new characters get filtered in, and they're not going to be recurring quite as often as, say, like a Teddy, who's pretty much part of the family now. But they're kind of on the same line as like a Daryl. Daryl's not in every episode. You don't want to call them C characters, but they're kind of they're reserved there for when the story fits a need for them to be in the story.
Right.
Once or twice a season. They're not a continuing something like a Jimmy Jr. or a Tammy or a Zeke. Those would be like more B characters, B- characters.
Right.
And again, I'm not grading characters on how good they are. It's just in like a tier list of who do you bring in to tell the story. You've got these specialized characters who can tell great stories when they're only in 1 or 2 episodes. If Millie was in every episode, it would get stale. It would get boring. She's too much of a character right now where she's good to bring in. It would muddy the story. It would make everything there'd be too much going on. So it's good to bring these characters in once in a while. And we know that Felix will be in pretty much only when it serves the purpose for Mr. Fischoeder. That's perfectly fine. That's great. He doesn't always have to be...
Well, they write it so well that it doesn't matter. It's like, oh no, it's going to be another Fischoeder heavy story. It doesn't matter because they work so well off of each other and they're written to that point. So it's totally fine that they're bringing him in to just assist in that storytelling. That's totally fine. Right? He doesn't have to stand alone on his own. It's just fine. So now what's next?
So again, previously we're going to nix the least favorite characters. We have been doing that for a while. Again, we don't want to. And the reason I'm nixing it is because in the last season we didn't have a least favorite character. We were just disappointed that there was not more Mort, and that continued into this episode.
Yeah, it kind of did.
And it
or
just
this season.
In this season, and we just don't want. I don't want to, because they weren't least favorite. It was just more, they've kind of fallen. He's kind of fallen into that C role, and not even in that because he doesn't really ever serve a story purpose anymore. It's just he's there for a quick one-liner or something, and that's fine. It just we don't need to rehash that because that happened again with him in this season. In season 4, there was not much of him to do. There's too much building going on to bring back.
I don't say there's too much building. There's so much building.
Yeah.
To me, right now there's just nothing. There's not too much.
No.
Because I always like to see new sets and new costumes and new everything with these characters. So as far as too much, no, there's just a lot of it.
Sure.
I want to talk. We don't have time to visit next door. We already did that.
Yeah. So the one I do want to just point out as we'll kind of do this like a bonus.
Okay.
My favorite one-off character that I know for fact is one-off.
Yeah.
Is Bronconius.
Yeah.
That's he was Paul F. Tompkins just did a fantastic job.
Yeah, he really did.
And that whole episode, we talked a lot about how good that episode
how
was.
Uncomfortable it makes the viewer when he kisses the horse. Yeah, it's very awful. That's really what
I want to just add an asterisk on to my favorite one-off. And then I think for you, we were talking previously, if you were to asterisk a one-off, it would be Sandy Cam as your favorite one-off. Hey, turn that sound off.
Sorry.
But yeah, I think that those are just good one-offs. They don't need to be back. Questionauts has served its time. The Super Bowl commercial did what it was supposed to do. So that ends the character portion.
Yes.
Wow, the tide is coming in fast.
It's the same speed it always comes in. Don't blame this on the ocean, Bob.
Hey, what are you looking at? My boobs are up here.
Sorry, babe. There they are, Milo and Otis.
No, that one's Milo, that one's Otis. Ding dong diddle ding dong dong.
Let's move on to favorite episodes.
Yes.
And I'm not going to ask you for your favorite episodes, because I have your favorite episodes.
Yes, you do.
Would you like to take a guess at what it is?
That is... Yes, I do want to take a guess at what it is.
Okay.
Let me pull up the season 4 list.
Okay.
And I can take a stab.
Sure.
At what I think my favorite episode
was
or is.
What was your favorite episode from season 4 is the correct way to, not what is your favorite episode.
I'm either going to go with Amber. No, not Amber Great. I'm going to go with either The Kids Run Away.
Okay.
Or.
I shouldn't say favorite. I guess your best reviewed.
Yeah.
You may have a different favorite.
Or Slumber Party. Those are my.
Okay.
Those are my 2 guesses.
Those are your guesses. Yeah. Well, you are half right.
Yeah. Go me.
So you have 2 on the list here. Slumber Party is your highest at 8.8.
All right.
Equestronauts is your second at 8.5.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And my 2 favorites for the first time in the history of our podcast are exactly the same as yours.
Ooh.
Slumber Party 8.6, Equestronauts 8.6.
All right.
So we have least favorite episodes. And in both instances, it is hard because you were not here for 3 episodes.
That's true.
But I am confident enough to know that these 2 would still be in your bottom. But it is jarring to see how different our bottoms are this time than previous years. Or than previous seasons. So what do you think is your least rated, your lowest rated episode of season 4?
I want to go with either Easy Commercial, Easy Go Commercial.
Okay.
Or my other least favorite would probably be I Get Psychic Out of You.
No, you were wrong on both fronts there.
Oh boy, okay. What was my least favorite?
Your least favorite was Presto Tina O.
Oh, I was going to guess that one. Okay.
At 6.9.
Okay.
And then second was Fraud Files at 7. So you had some really high rated episodes this year.
Yes.
Or for this season. Mine were A River Runs Through Bob, which I reviewed with KSK. We both gave that a 6.2.
Okay.
And then my second was Presto Tina O, which was a 6.3.
Okay.
Okay. So those are our lowest rated episodes of... Personally, our lowest rated episodes. And then it actually ends up being... If we were to look at the least rated episode, the lowest rated episodes for the season, it was River Runs Through Bob, Presto Tina, and Front Files. Least, second, third. 22, 21, 20. So that works out. I mean, the math adds up. Math doesn't lie there.
That's right.
We do know that those are our least...
Math don't lie.
Our lowest rated episodes. So let's talk about the highest rated episodes overall. Because we already just talked about our personal ones.
Right.
So for the season, number 5 was a tie between Mazeltina and Uncle Teddy at 8.1. Turkey in a Can at number 4, 8.2. Equestronauts, 8.55. Fortnite, 8.6. And then Slumber Party at 8.7. So if we were to look at the people who subbed in for you, Fortnite would have tied Slumber Party for your highest. So Jeff gave that an 8.8.
Sure.
And I feel like with me giving it an 8.4, I don't think yours would have been any quite different.
Not that different.
So that's pretty good for that. So we do have a new top 5, though.
Okay.
But not much changed. There is a few new entries into our overall top 5. So before the season recap, before this season, our top 5 was literally all season 3.
Okay.
Because that
just makes sense. Right.
Yeah.
That was the best season of them all thus far.
And so this season we have 2 new entries onto the list. So at number 5 now tied with Topsy is Fortnite. And then at number 4, so moving Topsy down, is Slumber Party at 8.7, which means that The Deepening is off the list of top 5 best episodes. And then it's Broadcast Wagstaff, School News, Boys for Now, and Carpe Museum. 3, 2, and 1.
Okay.
So I have a feeling...
I'm sad that The Deepening got knocked off.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
I mean, it was knocked off.
There's going to be better episodes than The Deepening.
It actually dropped 3 spots because
Sure.
of the Equestronauts also being above it.
Yes.
But it's very minute at that point. It's 8.55 to 8.45. So,
okay.
Yeah. But, it's nice to kind of see a little bit of of new seasons getting into there, and it's going to cycle through. I mean, we are getting to, again, season 5 will come in, and we'll see that. It is a little not unnerving, but I guess it's a little disheartening to see none of the season 1 episodes above number 48.
I don't know. I don't think we would have any of those episodes if we're reviewing many other shows.
No. And the highest rated season 2 episode is now down to 16th overall or 15th overall. It's just, I understand why. We've talked about it before. But it'll be nice to maybe see what happens in season 5 and see if any of these get mixed around. But, we talked about it in the season 3 recap, where season 3 was where we feel Bob's Burgers hit its stride, and it just was fantastic through that whole season. And this one had some flashes of greatness, and also had some stinkers. River Runs Through Bob is one of our top. It was rated number 5.
One of our bottom.
It's in the bottom 5.
Sure.
So we did span the spectrum for this season.
Mm-hmm.
So that brings us to the finale. So I crunched the numbers, because I always like kind of doing this since I'm keeping a running overall of all of our ratings. So through 4 seasons, our new average score is 7.43 together. 7.31 for myself, 7.55 for you. Our mean scores are 7.4, 7.6, 7.55, and then the modes are 7.5, 7.9, and 8.05.
So it turns out for us,
our
7 is a kind of an average episode.
It has been, yep. And we talked about that before, where we, the show's not bad, and I can see why people think when you go on when you rate episodes, you say 7, and you think that's average. Yeah, I mean, it is average, but it's still a good episode. It's still very good. It's rewatchable. For me, 7 is one that I will watch again. 5 is one I'll watch once, maybe twice.
Right.
And I'll watch all of these again, but they're just okay episodes. Mm-hmm. So 7s are still really good. So if the average episode is really good, and bordering on being almost an 8 because it's 7.43, it just means that the show is very, it's very good.
So, that being said...
So, I just want to real quickly, so if you go to IMDb, the average star rating for Bob's Burgers right now, for the whole series, so we're not quite there yet, but the whole average star rating for Bob's Burgers is 8.1. So we're a little bit below that, but again, if you look at how the show breaks down its ratings, nobody goes below 6. So...
Sure. Okay.
So, if we were to curb this, I suppose... I would guess it would be probably similar to ours, most
Pretty
likely.
Close.
But yeah, it's just kind of neat to see. Like I said, when I'm going through these numbers and kind of just looking at it, interests me to see who, where these things are. But yeah, I mean that kind of wraps up season 4. There's no more numbers to crunch. There's nothing else to do. We're looking forward to season 5.
Very much so looking forward to season 5. There's Work Hard, Die Trying Girl. There's Hawk and Chick.
Yeah, we recorded that episode. Oh my god. We recorded that episode a year ago.
Yeah.
More than a year ago now at this point.
Yes.
I might ask if he wants to come on and do it again.
Oh, yeah.
Just because we've been sitting on that one for so long.
Okay.
That...
Well, the whole point was so he didn't have to come back.
I know, but he already did come back for the beginning of this season.
True.
He wants to come back.
Yeah.
He had mentioned that he would like to do it again. It's just, we did it... At the time, we weren't aware if we would be able to get him again. Or we just did it to do it.
Right.
But now that we... have been doing it for so long. I'd like to... I mean, not necessarily bring it back. I don't want to bring him back to review it. I'd like to bring him back to kind of do just kind of like a little bit of like an intro.
Okay.
Because we had the interview with him in season 1.
Sure.
And it sounds like if you looked at the news, it looks like there might be another Hawk and Chick episode coming up.
There is.
So I'd like to bring him on at least, and when we get to that, it'll be 20 weeks from now. So I don't know if the Hawk and Chick is this year or next year. But either way, I want to bring him on to talk about that new episode.
Right.
Not necessarily review it at the time that we do that, but we could. But yeah, again, just to bring him on and ask him if that was something that caught him off guard. If it was like, oh hey, there's we have a new episode that we want you to do, or if he's been. I know it sounds like he's always been campaigning, and there was that Twitter thing early last year. Where
to try and get him back on.
Exactly, yeah. It was the whole, which character would you like to see come back?
Yeah, everybody's like, we want to see Keisuke come back. and
course
do
we
Hawk.
want to see some more Hawk.
So yeah, there's lots to look forward to for season 5. We get a lot of great episodes in season 5. Just looking at the names, so it's gonna be interesting to see how they stack up from when we first watched them, as always, to reviewing them for this podcast and really breaking them down. So
yeah, we got another slew of holiday episodes, which is great that we can look forward to.
We love holiday
to
episodes.
all 4 of them: the Halloween, the Thanksgiving, the Christmas, the Valentine's Day. We will get all those.
Right. So we will get better at getting podcasts out at a reasonable time. That's something that we have to do moving forward.
They are all on Thursday, though.
What we could be doing better.
It's our New Year's resolution.
Yes, that's right.
It is the new year.
Do want to say thanks everybody for listening. We have so much fun doing this. That's going to bring season 4 to an official close, and we're going to start season 5 next week with Work Hard or Die Trying.
Yeah, it'll be the first episode of
season 5.
Yeah, I was going to say it would be the first episode after Martin Luther King Day.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So,
all right, sure. If that's important to you.
Actually, it's not. It's the first. That doesn't matter. Regardless, it'll be mid-January when this comes out.
That's right.
But not when this one comes out. When that one comes out. But yeah, Work Hard or Die Trying, girl.
Mm-hmm. So that's going to do it for us. You can find us on Twitter, on Instagram, @BurgersFriesPod. Don't forget we have a Patreon out there to make this the best possible podcast we can have and to try and expand what we want to do. I've seen Into the Spider-Verse, and all I want to do is talk about that, but we don't really have a platform for it. Maybe we should do it like an ode to animation or something, because it was just gorgeous.
It just won. We're recording this.
Yeah, it won the Golden Globe. Yeah,
I saw that. Which, I saw some of the other animated ones. This one definitely was the best.
Oh my gosh! This movie was great.
It would be interesting to see what other awards can take home. But yeah, it was a good episode. It'd be great to kind of just talk about maybe where comic book movies go from here. If this is maybe something that is sustainable. It sounds like it took 2.5 years to render the damn thing. So I don't know how well that's going to work.
Yeah.
But maybe it's better if this is like a one-off. I know they're already doing a sequel or a spin-off.
Which I'm fine if this is all they do. I don't know. That's that's a different conversation for another time.
Yeah.
Right. It is all about Into the Spider-Verse. But if you haven't seen it, you need to go see it. If you're a fan of animation or Spider-Man or comics in general, it is amazing. And we're gonna leave it at that. You can find us everywhere that you keep listening to your podcast and keep listening to us. You can find us on those websites. Again, we are the Burgers and Fries podcast. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. I'm Brian.
I'm Ryan. Don't you tell me no lies.